Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today. This is Brienne from Marvel, and I'm going to be coloring Groot today. I love Groot. He makes me laugh. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. Awesome, great movies. So I decided to do this is actually my first Marvel recording, exciting. And I decided to do Groot. I'm going to be doing more and more recordings, but today I'm going to stick with Groot. I think it's a nice, fun piece to start with, and I don't think there's anybody that doesn't love this character who likes the movies. That being said, let's get started. They have some really cool palettes in Marvel that are like really easy to pick from, and you could basically use one palette to color a whole piece. I really like how the palettes are put together here. Now I'm gonna probably want some green, some yellow, all these like earthy tone colors for his like wood complexion. So let's go to, I like this unbeatable one. We can switch it up after. And then I'm gonna go to, let's go to a fill. You can tell it's my first time because it's giving me prompts on how to use things. So I'm just going to fill the background so I can see what my areas are. That doesn't mean I'm gonna leave it that color. And in fact, I'm gonna switch it up right now. I'm gonna go to my bloom and I am going to put it on freehand mode for a sec. And I'm just going to pull this color around Groot a little bit there, around the neckline. I'm gonna lighten it up a little bit more and just get a little bit lighter there. A little bit lighter again. Cool, like it a lot. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to, just a regular fill. And I'm going to put it back on. I'm gonna put it back on. Oh, I gotta change that first. Go back here. Okay. You know what? Skip that. I'll just use the airbrush. It's because it's prompting me because I haven't, I colored a little bit in here, but it's prompting me with all my tools again. So I'm just gonna go to airbrush and fill it with airbrush actually, which might actually be a better choice here. So I'm just gonna fill him in with brown. And I'm gonna leave it on freehand mode just for a sec. Just so I can kind of color away from and around the lines without having to fill multiple spots. And I'm gonna leave, I'm not gonna color right to the ridge because I'm gonna be doing some stuff there. I'm just gonna go pretty close. Yeah, these movies are great. They're funny and there's so much action, and probably one of my favorites from Marvel. It's a newer one, but definitely a fave. Newer as compared to like X-Men and stuff like that, but I love X-Men too. I grew up watching the cartoons, and then it went to movies, and yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna roughly fill him kind of like that because I'm gonna be adding more details in here. I'm actually going to go to my marker tool and I'm gonna put it back on automatic mode. I'm gonna bring down my opacity a bit here. And I'm just going to maybe bring it up a little bit more. And I'm just gonna kind of go around these edges and fill in these areas. I really want like a rugged kind of raggy look to the face because it's wood, right? So I'm just gonna do that. Just all the areas where I kind of missed and left a white. And the more you go over marker, the more you'll deepen that streak when you have a low opacity. So just keep that in mind. Okay, cool. So we got a little bit of variation in texture there to start. And I'm gonna go even further with the marker tool. I'm gonna increase the brush size. I'm gonna bring down the opacity. And I'm just going to kind of put like streaks in it. I'm actually gonna put it on freehand mode as well and bring down that opacity even more. I just want to get these kind of like a woody, rough look to the face. That's why I wanted the different variations of brown. You could even get some green in here. Bring up the opacity a bit here so you can see it. Kind of get that green. A lot more to get more of like a shading around the eyes here. Around the mouth. I'm going to just put it on automatic for a second. Then this yellow, I'll bring down the opacity and just put a little bit of even less. I'm just gonna put a little bit of yellow in here. I don't want it to be too standoffish. I just kind of want it more like as a highlight around the edges. So that's why I lowered the opacity there a bit. Just mix all these colors in there. Might bring it up a little bit more for right here. There. I'm gonna outline the nose a little bit, do a little bit of shading. The marker it reminds me of working manually with Copic markers. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of those. Well, I'm sure people have. They're amazing markers. And illustrators actually use them a lot when they're making these types of drawings in real life to color in their work. And I love them. They're very expensive, but they're well worth it. They're a really awesome, amazing tool. So yeah, that's what it kind of reminds me of. What I'm doing right now is kind of working with the marker tool to get the kind of comic booky effect. And you can go as far as you want with it. You can halt up if you want, but I'm going to keep on going here because I got just a little bit more shading, highlighting I want to do here. It's going to be a fairly simple first piece, but I wanted to keep it that way. Do a simple first piece, and I'll definitely be doing some more complex ones in the future. I would like to color Spider-Man and do some, we were just talking about X-Men. I would like to do some X-Men. I'm going to try and do a little bit of variety and show different tools and techniques to kind of coloring your pieces. That being said, I want my splatter tool right now, and I'm just gonna bring down the opacity. Like the splatter tool is very blunt tool, like it shows up a lot is what I'm trying to say. So you don't need it to be on high to get the effect. And I'm just gonna go over the marker a little bit in areas and add this splatter just to get like texture in his face, even with like the burnt orange. Just bring down the brush size where you need the brush size down. Make sure your opacity is low. Like if you turn it up, you'll just get big splotches. You want the texture, but you don't want it to take over the picture. So I'm just kind of further highlighting with the splatter near the edges. then I'm gonna look down here, see what other awesome, oh, this is a good one too for this. Just kind of layering the brown. I'm actually gonna go back to my airbrush tool. Just gonna keep it dark there, and I just want to do a little bit closer shading around the jawline and maybe around the nose a little bit here. Around the creases. Gotta put it on freehand because I'm not going through the lines. Then I want kind of like an orange here. Just want to make this a little bit brighter around the cheekbone, but I don't want to lose those colors that I already put in. I'm just using the airbrush tool and contouring the face. That's all I'm doing. And I might actually go to the bloom. Dramatic. No, I think I like it just like that. I think I like it just a little bit. Don't know until you try things though. I'm actually going to grab the airbrush still. And I'm just going to, instead of using the bloom to get the effect I'm going for, I'm just going to use the airbrush. Kind of playing with it here. I'm gonna use the watercolor. I'm gonna try the watercolor. See if I can get what I'm going for with the watercolor. Again, the watercolor shows up kind of abrasively too, so you do not need to use that on high by any means. I'm just using it to create like a more interesting background. Yellow, and I'm gonna go to my laser and I'm gonna put it on freehand. Just want my opacity up, my brush size down. I have it on freehand because I want it to kind of blend into the face and get the highlight. Okay, gnarly, I like it, looks good. I'm going to now, I need to go back to my mighty here and go to my pencil. And I'm just gonna color in Groot's teeth, but I don't want them to look perfect. Because he doesn't need super white teeth. He's a tree, or a walking tree dude of some sort. So yeah, he's not gonna have white teeth. They're gonna be a little bit of a variation of brown, and they're gonna have some darker shading kind of along the top here. Yeah, I don't want him to have perfect teeth. Just gonna go to my recent colors. Oh, they're down here. Oh, okay, cool. And I'm going to do his eyes like a yellow type brownie color. So I just want to get, put on automatic mode there. Just want to get this kind of brown shading in here before I use the yellow. And then I'm going to, I'll just use maybe like a yellow green, like a chartreuse. I'm just going to kind of get that color in there. And maybe I'll use the laser as well. And I'm just gonna try it. No, I don't like that. Just trying to get that kind of glitter in the eye without it being too ostentatious. Okay, so now that being said, I'm gonna go back to my browns and I'm going to go to my pencil tool. I'm just gonna deepen up that brown. Want my brush size up, my opacity up. And I'm just going to kind of deepen up around the eyes. I'm actually gonna put it on freehand mode here. I'm just gonna deepen up around the eyes, down the nose, along the side here a bit. Up here, around some of the creases. And then I'm gonna get that little bright green I was using, that chartreuse. I'm gonna bring down the opacity though. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of that in there just to add some visual kind of almost like mossy look to Groot. And just maybe add a little bit of white teeth, just kind of, just maybe around the edge, so they're highlighted at least. And there's got to be another kind of neon green. I just want this green in here to look like moss, like I was saying. Like, you know how when you look at a tree stump and it kind of looks like it's being taken over by the forest, you just got this like mossy look to it. That's all I'm using it for, and I'm just dragging my pencil on an angle to achieve this look. And I'm blending a couple different greens. I have to put it on automatic for a sec here. bit more. I don't want anything being too smooth on him. He's a tree, so I'm trying to make him tree-like. Or I shouldn't keep on saying he's a tree. He's not a tree. He's like a tree kind of thingamajig. Maybe I'll just call him a tree. Yeah, he's a tree. Okay, good enough. He has tree aspects to him. There we go. And just mixing the colors, you'll get like a really cool effect by doing that, and mixing the textures too. So let's say we go back to the splatter tool, and we just kind of add a little bit more splatter in there, a little bit more dark brown, just kind of blend them even more. The more layers you get, the more kind of an interesting type of effect you'll see that kind of comes out, which definitely isn't a bad thing. And I think we're almost done with Groot. There's a couple more little green areas here. Mix it in with the dark brown. There, so we kind of have achieved like a neat texture to his face. He has kind of different looking eyes. Overall, I think it looks pretty good. You can always add and take away as you go. That's why I always kind of analyze whatever I'm coloring. I always analyze kind of what I'm doing after. Shading to balance out the eyes. They're looking a bit off. Just balance this out over here a little bit. And then just maybe take a yellow. Just add a little bit more here. Okay, and there we go. We're done our Groot. This was a lot of fun, guys. I'll be back with some more interesting characters very soon, actually. But for now, this is my Groot. Thanks for joining me. This is Brienne from Marvel. See you guys again soon. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.